All right. In this video, the idea was on creation. Like we have to become the creator, and it's been kind of the idea's been going kind of like back and forth because I want to do it like on us bringing the creation to the world, but we have to do that based on ourselves. Where like sometimes we base like I don't know, our value on the circumstances of life. Like, you know, doctors are more valuable than teachers and, you know, they save lives and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that they're not, but not everybody's, you know, journey in life is to be a doctor. For the ones that are, that's awesome. And the ones that aren't, that's awesome too, because they have to do what it is they have to do too. But we get caught up in that idea of, you know, doctors are better than normal people, which, okay, maybe they are a little bit. Sure, they have to put in all the work to do what it is they have to do. But that was their journey. That's their journey. And again, like, we're all, like Tony always likes to say, and is we're all equal as souls, but we're not equal in the marketplace. So again, I mean, I'm just not really steady with my hands. It doesn't really matter how hard I work. I am not going to be good at surgery. I'm just not steady with it. It's just the way that it is, you know. And I think it's awesome for the people that are. That I mean, I don't really envy them, but I like that's awesome. I applaud them, like, you know. So I feel like that's what it is. Like we all have to find that one thing that we're really good at and keep doing it. And it doesn't matter what that is. And that's the thing, is that that's what I'm trying to say. Like everybody thinks that's great, so we base our value on, oh man, you know what, I'm not as good as that doctor. And trust me, I've done this too. But that's not the goal. The goal is to become the best version of yourself at whatever it is that you are good at, and bring that to the world. And no matter what, don't base your judgment. The hockey game's on. I probably shouldn't be having that on in the background because it's gonna sidetrack me. But anyway, yeah. So where was it going? So we shouldn't base our value and our judgment off of other people, because it's our journey. This is our journey to figure out what's in here that is in our soul, that's inside of us, that we need to bring to the world. Now again, and that's where I'm kind of going. Like we can't base our value of our own abilities and our own self based on the outside world or what other people are telling us. Because again, throughout life, some people will tell you things just because they don't feel good enough themselves. Or some people, you know, like in Batman, like the Joker, some people just want to see the world burn. It's just some people just, no matter what it is, they're going to find fault, they're going to find, and that's okay too. That's their journey. I wish I could help everyone to realize that there's more to life than that, but maybe that's not their time to do it. So I accept those people. I try to be nice to them and still do whatever, because I try to treat everybody equally for the most part. But again, that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's our journey. Figure out what it is. And for me to be sitting here right now talking about all this stuff, I never thought this was possible 20, 30 years ago. I would have started sooner. I wish I would have learned some of the stuff I've learned the last 5 years, because it helped change my mindset. It helped me chip away little by little and realize that just because the outside world was telling me that I might not be good enough, or the people around me, or the circumstances of my life, I had to realize that they're not the ones that create my life. I am. And that's why I'm trying to say the circumstances of, we can respond or react. And when we react to it, we just keep it going. Okay, now I'm starting. See, that's why I like to get going, because now I'm starting to remember some of the stuff I wanted to talk about. I should probably write it all down. And I got some notes on the screen, but that's what I want to talk about, is that what is going on now in your life is part of the decisions you made in the past. And able to get somewhere else, you're going to have to do different stuff. And again, I always go with an ebb and flow. Sometimes I don't record some videos because I fall backwards into that person I used to be. So my own life is a good example of it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to, be smooth sailing. And sometimes there's going to be periods where you're, stagnant or just resting or not really positive what it is you want to do or whatever, because these old patterns that you've developed over years don't go away overnight. It takes time. But that's the thing, is that we got it, but we have to put the effort into it to figure these things out, because they're not going to figure it out on their own. Like, I was starting to let the, last few months get to me. So I wasn't doing as many videos. I wasn't getting on here, and I'm still trying to get back in that flow. And I didn't, and then I never really did anything. So I just kind of put things off. And then I was like, all right, well, I got to start somewhere. So I started watching some videos here and there. And then started, getting back, because I was like, I still meditated every day, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't doing it as often as I should be. And that's what I'm trying to say is that these habits, we have to, when we stop doing them, sometimes we lose that momentum. And then we kind of slide back into a different pattern, and then we create that pattern. And that's what I'm saying, is that you have to keep consistent with these habits and doing these things over and over and over again. It's okay if you do like I just did, where I kind of lost that momentum for a little bit. But you just got to start the engine up. When you're sitting there sometimes looking at the top of the mountain and you think, how am I going to get way up there? Well, like they always say, it's one step at a time. So that's what I started to do, was get back to, making sure I did my 2 meditations a day, not just one. I was skipping the second one more often than I usually do. So now I got back to doing that, trying different things. And, I started adding different stuff to my meditation again to kind of get myself calmed back down and relaxed into the moment, because I was focusing so much on what was going wrong the last couple months. And then I finally realized is that's what I'm saying. When you focus on something, it keeps creating in your life. And I can sit here and tell you that you have to, change your ideas, change your thoughts, change your actions, change your habits. But the thing is some people, if you don't, and not me included, if you don't see that result overnight, you get frustrated and think, all right, it doesn't work. But that's the thing, is you need the time to let it simmer. But if you start to have doubt during that simmering time and that, gestation time, where it needs to get, the universe has to kind of align stuff, and it might take a little longer than you want. But when you give up during that time, well, then it goes back to the old pattern. Then you lose it and you're like, oh yeah, see, I told you it wasn't going to work. But you didn't have faith in the in-between, between your thoughts now and it manifesting in the future. That takes time. And you have to be diligent during those time periods where you don't see the result. You have to have that faith in that knowing from the inside, in your heart, in your soul, and in everything, that it's coming. No matter what, it's on its way. It's already done. It's just not it's done up there in the spiritual world, but it ain't done here yet. Because again, the universe needs time to create what it is that you're feeling. You have to see it from the end as if it's already done. You can create anything. We've been taught to base our judgments of reality based on what we see. We have to bring ourselves to that reality and create, not respond to what's going on. I mean, we do have to at sometimes, but at other times, we just gotta, keep that focus and keep doing the right thing, regardless if we see the results that we want right away or not. It takes time. And trust me, I do. I'm just talking from my personal experience too. But then, like I said, I started doing little stuff, and I didn't see it, and it took me, a couple weeks to get back on here again. And it's because I lost that momentum. But it's also a good learning experience for myself, and it's a good teaching experience for my own world. None of us are perfect. We can have perfect moments. We're gonna fall backwards. It's part of the process. It happens. But the thing is that you have to see yourself and feel it from within. think about what it is that you want, and then focus on how you would feel when you have that, because you will. And then you focus on that feeling instead of thinking, oh man, it's not going to work. What am I going to do? And I was doing this thing, I want to get back on here more, but yet I was focused on not getting back on here and what I had been doing for the last few months. And I mean, I get on here as much as I can, but I would like to get on here more. But I also have to keep doing the work, and I stop doing the work. So that's on me. I have to be the one that takes the responsibility, takes that action, even when I don't feel like doing it. Because a lot of the times you don't feel like doing it because it's a result of you not doing it. So we have to do things. Trent Shelton was saying something the other day or whatever about you're not always going to feel your best. You're not always going to feel great, but do it anyway. Because that's what gets you out of those states when you're not feeling great, is to actually get up and do something. So that's almost like the challenge, like the goal, like the test, if you want to call whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. It's there to say, hey, you're gonna do that. It's like I talked in the past, that one time I was so tired and didn't want to read the chapter of this book online to see if I wanted to order it. And then I said, you know what, I need to do this before I go to bed, so I need to see if I want to order it. So when I read it, and it talked just about that, about doing things when you don't want to, and that they're beneficial. And I'll reiterate Tony. Tony jumps in the cold water every day. I want to get to that day where I get to. I've been doing it once or twice a week here and lately, and I'd like to do it every day. The way it makes you feel is amazing. But it's not like you're like, yeah, I can't wait to get in that water. It's more or less of, I can't wait to get out of that water, and the way I feel after I do. And then I use that idea in my head that I know how great I'm going to feel when I get out of that water, that while I'm in it, I'm like, yep, don't worry. A few more minutes, I'm going to feel great. And as I'm, freezing my ass off, but it's like, it might not be that bad, but it is cold sometimes. But the way it makes you feel after, you feel amazing. And the benefits, like, to me, I've learned to do the hard things to feel better. Like, sometimes you got to push through no matter what. Like today, I had no idea I was going to get on here and do this video, and then just during my meditation, these ideas just started coming to me, and I was like, all right, I got to get back on here and see what's going on. And that's the thing, is with anything in life, instead of go into it with an open mind and with an open heart and with an open soul, knowing that, okay, the process might not be easy, I might not feel like doing it. But then once you start to do something, once you get that momentum starting to roll, then you keep going. And again, you got to let go of judgment. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be somebody that's going to say something if you fail or if you succeed. Kobe Bryant used to say that it's good to have those people, because it shows that you're doing something right if people are trying to pull you down. It's just that's what it is. You must be doing something right. Do it anyway. Mother Teresa used to say it all the time. People may try to destroy what you build anyway. She has an amazing poem. I don't remember the whole thing, and it's so inspiring that it doesn't matter. It's what you feel like you have to do in your heart and soul. But you also have to look in here, when we're taught to focus on everything out here, and that this is the main thing. Now again, this is important, but this is a reflection of how you feel in here. So if you don't like what's going on out here, you got to look in here and see, okay, what am I doing wrong? What is going on? What am I holding on to? What am I doing that's stopping me from becoming something more? Because we all can do that. And again, there's techniques out there, emotional freedom tapping. You start there's a thing where you just go through points on your head, on your here, and here, and you just tap through those points, because they're kind of like acupuncture points. I think that's what I read. But as you do that, it like helps release the stress and the anxiety and all that stuff in your nervous system. And then again, when you do that and saying phrases and words, then it helps sink it into your nervous system. And like, there's days where I would do one on anxiety, and you listen to it and you tap through these points and listen to this meditation, and they talk about, just stuff to help you feel less anxious. And but it helps release that from your nervous system, and you feel great after it. So there are little stuff you can do to just keep, releasing that energy and keep the flow going. And that's the thing too, is when we don't do anything, we get in that stagnant energy, and we, kind of get complacent, like I have over the last couple of years. I was even, getting up slow today, but then as soon as I got up, here I am. And that's the thing, is that, like, I don't even know most of the time what I'm gonna say, and then I just get on here with an idea when the idea comes, and then just kind of sit here and relax, and then put some notes up. That's my process. We can all figure out our own process for whatever it is we choose to do. But anyway, we have to bring that energy from the inside. We have to feel. And remember that it's not going to change overnight. You just have to keep being diligent. And even if you don't feel like doing anything, just do something small. Just start with one little thing. One little meditation, one little movement, just get excited. It's that change of state. Like on that board up there, Tony says physiology first. You got to change that state. And, I used to think he was crazy for jumping around all the time. I was like, who's this dude? And I didn't watch him for years. And then when I finally did during the pandemic, it was like, all right, man, this guy's actually pretty cool. I was like, he's actually got some good ideas here. And then you hear his story that, he came from nothing. And, I've had some people in my life, well, it's easy for him to say he's a millionaire. Well, guess what? He wasn't always one. And he doesn't have to work another day in his life. His main goal is to see you get from where he was to where he is there now. And we can all do little things, but we don't have to compare ourselves to other people. We just have to become the best version of ourselves. And that's something only we can do. You can't let someone else tell you what to do. I mean, obviously, if it's your boss, sure, but you know what I mean. Like, when you're not at work, when you're on your own, you have to make the decisions for yourself. You have to make a choice to want to do more with your life if you do. And I'll tell you, just doing little stuff, it'll lead you in a direction of feeling better about everything. Because again, it all starts on the inside. It all starts with you, like Trent Shelton says. He's awesome too. Watch him. I'll promote him any day. But that's the thing, is that we have to be persistent. We have to keep moving. We have to keep doing something. And when we lose momentum like I did the last few weeks, that's okay. It's part of the process. Maybe you have to learn how to create that momentum again and start and do little things, and just little, and it keeps going up. And it's like, Dean always likes to say, little hinges swing big doors. So do something little and stack them on top of each other until you get to the point where you're doing more. So anyway, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So just keep at it, never give up, keep going, and whatever it is you're trying to do. And anyway, like and subscribe, share, ask questions, do whatever. Share this with anybody you think it might benefit, because I just want to help people get better at whatever it is they're trying to do. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye, and thanks for watching.